We are here for our MES IT Leader Spotlight series with Eric Logan, who is the Director of Information and Network Security at the Dekalb County School District in Georgia, which is a very large school district, if I'm not mistaken. Is that
Yes,
correct, Eric?
that is correct. The cab, we're country with Georgia. We call it cab. So yeah, we are the third largest school district in the state of Georgia, and we are around about the 28th or 29th largest in the United States.
Wow. So I think what I would really love to learn about, and we were talking a little bit beforehand, you and I have been connected online for quite a few years.
Yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit about your journey, like how you got into IT and how you got to be into this kind of executive leadership position.
Started off originally with coding, and doing coding. This is back when you were doing RPG 4, Cobalt, C, not C plus, not C, just C, Visual Basic. And I'm a perfectionist, and with coding and being a perfectionist, that can be tedious sometimes because you're wanting it just right. And so I ended up switching to networking, and that's when everything just kind of took off.
So you're currently in the education sector, and we have
Yes.
quite a few of our other IT leaders who are in education. In that sector right now, in 2025, going into the new year, what are some of your biggest challenges that you see as an IT leader?
Well, the biggest challenge is, and I'm gonna may talk a lot about AI because everybody's wanting to use it, and you have students that want to use it, you have teachers that want to use it, and they both have, teachers that want to use it to kind of help make their jobs much easier. Teachers, but they have a lot on their plate, and anything that can kind of help them, better manage their class, better, perform as a teacher helps. You have students that want to use it out of curiosity as well as they want to use it to make their jobs, their work easy.
Right,
But we
right,
have to find that balance, to kind of make sure that it's being used properly and it's being used within ethical reasons. That,
right.
it's not being used wrong, it's not being used for anything malicious, or when you're dealing with children, cyberbullying, for example.
Right.
So, a lot of things that we're having to do is kind of make sure, you know, from a technical standpoint, certain safeguards are in place upon what access to AI information that they receive, as well as making sure that we have the proper guidelines and procedures set up for usage, proper, just like we, at the point, years ago, we got, acceptable use policies for the internet, the schools. Now we're looking at acceptable use policies for AI.
Right. That's interesting because there's so much concern around, content plagiarism with
Yes.
AI, and I imagine that's a big thing in the education sector. Is there anything that your county or that your school district has been addressing with that? Do you have policies in place around AI or?
Yeah. We're working on policies and we're really exploring to kind of see.
Right.
And again, between teachers as well as students, they're chomping at the bit to get their hands on it.
Yeah.
Um, but we're taking it very carefully and cautiously because we don't want it to get out of hand. And we
Right.
want to make sure that from the teacher standpoint, they have the right tools and understanding and training on AI.
Let's just take a step back to a little bit about you and your
Okay.
focus. What is
Okay.
one of your proudest career milestones or something that you're really proud of as far as your journey to becoming an
Oh
IT?
wow. I'm honestly say the work I'm doing now. Move, taking a step forward. There's a saying that, take 5 seconds of courage to bet on yourself. And I kind of did that to kind of step into a director's role. Beforehand being a manager, I was fine being a manager. I was fine being number two, not necessarily being the one in the forefront, but being in my current role and kind of seeing the impact that I'm making and seeing how I can, help kids out, and seeing how they can take, just information about online safety, you know, that they can go back and tell their parents, go tell their grandparents, you know, that's kind of one of the things that kind of makes me proud because I'm seeing that, it's not just, clicking a button, setting up something. It's like, what I'm doing is having an impact, is making a difference, is making, safe, especially, when it comes to minorities,
Yes.
that are getting, someone to actually help them and show them proper, computer usage.
As an IT leader, is there any technology or technologies that you personally are really excited about that you think are really going to make an impact?
All right, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and say AI again. And that seems to be what everybody wants to say is AI. But when you kind of look at it from not the, oh, AI is gonna take our jobs, that
Yeah,
perspective, but you start looking at what you can do with it, how it makes information a lot more accessible to people, makes it easier for people to get. I can see a point where, we're, looking at, as an example, Copilot from Microsoft and Gemini from Google, you're pretty much it could be at a point where you got an assistant that can kind of, tell you your schedule, help you, put together notes for a presentation,
right.
kind of break down, certain data, and just kind of, it's like having a true assistant. And I think that once people really learn how to utilize that and really use it properly, and not just from like the nostalgic stake of like, ooh, this is a novelty, type thing, and just really use it as a tool,
Right.
that's going to make a huge, huge difference.
What are your ideas on mentorship and fostering the next generation of IT tech talent?
Yeah, I've mentored and coached people for years, even before I got into a leadership position, because, one of the things, starting out, you and I both started in IT years and years ago, and you can probably remember yourself being the only person, being the only person of color,
Yes,
going
yes,
to conferences,
yes,
going to meet, you're kind of feeling left out, you're there, but you're not included,
right.
you're not involved. And I try to mentor and help, people who are interested. And I tell them that I didn't have me as a person to look toward, for inspiration or talk to or ask for advice. So, I think that, and I wish more, minority leaders would kind of step out and just kind of mentor and coach more, and not just, and when I say mentor, just really get deep and down with it, to kind of, be, just upfront,
Yeah,
just be open and upfront about, this is how, you navigate this. This is how the politics are. This is how the bureaucracy is.
right.
These are the things you're going to deal with. This is how to navigate that stuff.
Yeah.
And not lose your sanity over it. So
Right.
so I love mentoring and coaching. I can speak for my school system where I'm at now. I think they take that very, very seriously. And one of the initiatives that I started, once I was hired, was a cyber champions program. And what that program does is pretty much K through 12. We involve, kids in learning about online safety. Just learning about cybersecurity, online safety,
That